Hello everyone, I'm Daniela and today's video is all about reducing those grocery store plastic bags. I don't know how it is where you're from, but here in Portugal, at the supermarket, they give you those clear, really thin plastic bags so you can put the fruits and vegetables in. And I've been seeing a lot of mesh ones that are meant to replace those, so I decided to, instead of buying, to try and make my own. No surprises, these are actually really quick, cheap and easy to make, so it's definitely worth the try. I tried making them in two different versions. One has a trim on the top where it tightens with a cord, and the other one doesn't. The one that doesn't is easier to make and faster. The other looks a bit more cute, so it's up to you to choose whichever you want to make. Remember that the full list of supplies is in the description box below, and I might even put a link to the fabric mesh that I got. It's from IKEA. And let's get started. For the mesh part, I'm using this IKEA fabric that I think is intended for curtains. It's super cheap and I really like the polka dots. Lay the mesh fabric and measure the size you want. Then cut it. Save this piece for later and go ahead and cut the fabric trim, if you want to make the version number 1. The fabric I'm using is a blend of cotton and polyester, so it's pretty sturdy, and I was able to cut a strip just by clipping the edge and ripping the rest on the grain. The width of the strip is up to you and the thickness of the cord you're using to tie. I just eyeballed mine. Don't forget to add seam allowance. I was able to use the selvage, aka the end of the fabric, so I won't need to finish this side. Using the iron again to hold it in place, fold the sides into the center. Now it's sewing time. My sewing machine has this option, so I'm switching my foot for an overlocking one and I'm changing the stitch as well. If yours doesn't have that, you can try sewing a zigzag stitch with the thread tension at 0. Join the sides of the mesh rectangle. You can hold it with clips if you want, and just sew the sides and bottom with the overlocking stitch or with the zigzag one. Turn the bag inside out. I changed the foot of my sewing machine again for the zipper one, just so I can sew close to the edge more easily. Fold the end of the trim inside, like so, and sew this piece down to hide the raw edge. Then place this end of the fabric strip on the center of the edge of the bag, sandwiching the mesh inside one of the folded seams, and sew the top, making sure to catch the mesh. You can hold everything in place with clips if you want. I decided to place the mesh in between the trim as I went. Once you are almost reaching the other end, close your stitches and remove the whole thing from under the machine. Where both edges meet, and leaving a bit of seam allowance, cut the fabric. Then open up the folded seam allowances and fold and sew the edge like you did on the first one. Carry on sewing the rest, making both edges meet. Finish off by sewing the bottom of the strip as well. And it should look something like this. Use a safety pin to put the cord through one of the holes. Finish off by cutting the cords and knotting together the ends so they won't slip inside. The second and easiest version. This one might work or not depending on the mesh fabric you have. Mine has big enough holes that I can do as follows. I sewed the mesh back just like I did on the first one. This time I actually saved the end of the fabric, which has a nice wavy finish. Then I put the thread through a large needle and used that to weave the thread through the holes in the net. Once I reached the other end, I just cut and knotted both ends of the cord together. Pull on the cords to close the bag and voila! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have made so many bags already, so it goes to show that you can definitely make them in no time at all, so it's definitely worth it instead of just ordering online or buying them at the store. Remember that if you make one of my DIYs, you can share it on Instagram at curlymade so I can see it and also add it to my highlights where I keep all of your projects. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!